This is a tour of Cosmo's new outdoor kitty enclosure. I've taken advantage of the space at the edge of my deck here, and I bought a 10-foot by 10-foot dog kennel fence kit from Lowe's for about $300. It's 6 feet tall, and it does not include a top. So I went and bought some fencing, some wire fencing that came in 2-foot wide, 2-foot wide roll, 50 feet long. And so I took out 10-foot sections and cut it, and I secured them together with zip ties. Here's one panel, the second panel, and the third. The top ended up getting a little saggy, so I ended up resting this 2x4 across the top to keep it from sagging too much. As you can see, here's the boy Cosmo. He's been out in his cage all morning. He seems quite happy with it. Here's Jenny on the outside looking in. She likes to go in there too, but she would prefer the real thing. So let's take a closer look. I had to move the stairs on my deck. They were located at the corner of this enclosure, so I had to move those off to the side and move my makeshift walkway around the cage. So a little bit of extra work, but alright, so I just have a standard kind of chain link fence here to make sure he doesn't sneak out. Hi, buddy. So here we are inside. And the tricky part was working around this live tree here. So what I ended up doing was, before I put the fence up, I attached these 2x4s and other pieces of scrap lumber that I had to the tree itself. And I tried to make it square so that I wouldn't have to cut fancy shapes in my top fencing here, that I could just cut some basic square shapes and then it would be easier. You can see I've wired the top to these 2x4s so that you really can't get out. It's pretty kitty proofed. And up underneath I've put some blocking panels wherever there's enough space for a small kitty to slip through. So I think it's pretty secure around the edges. It's all wired in, so you shouldn't be able to get out. Now over at the window, I cut a hole in the chain link fence, and I've got this wooden frame to sort of bridge the gap between the fence and the window, so he can't sneak between the fence and the side of the house. Oh, here he goes now. See if he'll demonstrate his newly learned usage of his window flap. I'm not sure he wants to go in. He's been out all day. But yeah, this is a kitty flap that's part of a panel that you close into a standard sash window, so you can lock it in and out, and it magnetically closes, so it's not flapping in the breeze. So I need to add a little bit of extra to this wood here to make this gap a little bit smaller. he hasn't shown any interest in trying to sneak through there, but it's possible, so. And then I'll wire this whole wooden thing to the fence so that it won't move. And he's got this step ladder to get up and down from the window. He's got a few plants in here. He's got this shelf I added to the tree, but I'm planning to add I'm planning to add a lot more shelving, kind of almost going all the way around the tree, and probably some shelves or a table over here. And I got this cardboard box in here now, but I'd like to get a little dog house for him, for my spoiled kitty. So that is Cosmo's enclosure. He's a happy boy, and he really likes having this bird feeder close by. The birdies will go from the feeder to fly back to this tree in his cage up above it, so he can sit here and watch the birdies fly up over his head. So I think it's a pretty good setup. Still got some work to do, but in the meantime, I don't hear any complaints. Ginny!